Welcome, everybody, to Unity Community's virtual service. We are so happy you are here. We welcome all of you. We welcome you from Spokane and from Texas and California and wherever it is that you're watching us. We are so glad to have you join us. We welcome all of you, whoever you are, whatever color your skin, whatever orientation you may be, wherever you come from, whatever you believe, we welcome you. We don't ask you to believe anything in order to come here. We just ask you to feel the love and shine it out. So welcome, and let's start with celebrating with Soul Shine.
We did this one last time, so we'll bring this one back. Here we are in this room, knowing we are one. Forever we will always be messengers of love. Sing with us, wherever we go. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, we are one. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, we are one. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, we are one. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, we are one. God in me beholds a God in you. The God in me beholds a God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. All is beautiful. All is well. All is beautiful. All is well. Sing out loud. The God in me beholds the God in you. God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. All is beautiful. All is well. All is beautiful. All is well. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, we are one. Wherever we go in peace. Wherever we go in love. Wherever we go, we are one. All is well. All is beautiful. All is well.
Vibrant, welcoming, multi-generational community. Can we do that again? Yeah, let's just start over.
Start right when we cut back to Jane.
Okay.
So go back to just Jane only.
Thank you, Soul Shine. And let's say our mission statement together. We are a vibrant, welcoming, multi-generational, prosperous community, embodying love and awakening spiritual consciousness. And we love to celebrate. So let's welcome Claire Kubota, who's back from Spa Day. She and Zeke took a break last week, and now here they are.
Hello, good morning, Unity community. How are you? Ready to celebrate? Do you hear that? I hear something ringing. Is that my phone? No. Something's ringing. It's my banana phone. Can you tell I was raised on Sesame Street? Hello? You guys, it's God. Universal energy, the divine spirit. It's her. She's on the phone right now. She's calling me. Hi. Am I in trouble? Well, I know. I couldn't do celebrate because Zeke really needed his nails done. We had to do some spa stuff last week, and do you notice how good my skin is looking right now? It's because of that spa day. All right. Well, as long as you're calling, I just have some stuff I want to talk to you about because there's a lot. Have you seen what's going on here? 2020 has not been a good year. And, we've got this pandemic thing. We've got people just arguing about every little thing. And then we've just, the economy and, climate change, all this stuff, and race stuff. And you need to help. What's going on? What are we supposed to do with all of this? Uh-huh. Are you kidding? She says, we just need to listen to Reverend Jane and do whatever she says because she is the smartest woman ever and she knows everything and she is a wise, wise woman. So just listen to what Jane says and all will be well. So, okay, I think we can do that because we all already do listen to everything that Jane says. So as long as I have you on the phone, do you have a celebration for today that I can share with everyone? Because they would love to hear what you're celebrating. She's celebrating Soul Shine. She said you guys are rocking it out of the park every single weekend and every Sunday. So yay. She said Dave and Eric and Victor, you guys are amazing. So, and what else? Do you have any other celebrations? Yeah. You're just celebrating Unity Community of Central Oregon, and you're just so grateful that we're here and providing love and amazing energy for everyone. Thank you so much. I just really appreciate you calling, God. All right, you have a good day. Thank you. All right, you too. Bye-bye. That was God, you guys. Well, that was our celebration today. I guess we have amazing celebration. If you guys have any more, because we kind of need to keep things going, just put your celebrations in the chat so you can share them with the rest of the community. All right, bye-bye.
Oh, and I have the power. You have to listen to what I say because God told you to. As an older sibling, this is music to my ears. So what I'm going to tell you to do is fill out your prayer claim forms right up above me in the video, right above where you're watching it. You'll see the form. Click on that form and fill in your prayer claims. It's important. We are a praying community. We are a praying tradition as Unity. It's important that we pause and pray, that we claim what is our desire for our world and for the people that are in it. So please take a moment right now and click on that link and fill out your prayer claims. Don't just sit there. You're supposed to do what I told you. Now let's gather all of these intentions in a virtual basket, and we just infuse them with our love and with our knowing that we are powerful creators and that we are creating transformation. We are creating love and spiritual awakening in this world. And we are using these powers to bless every intention in our virtual basket and to see it as true already. It is true in the non-material plane, and so it must bear fruit in the material plane. That's just how things work. Can we take that into song?
Breathe in and know I am. Be still and know I am. Let go and know I am. I am. Breathe in and know I am. Be still and know I am. Let go and know I am. I
Love is our ultimate reality, everywhere present and whole. It radiates abundantly and continually creates good in my life and in the world. As we gratefully acknowledge the presence and power of love now, we see the people and circumstances we hold in prayer healed and illumined by love, and so it is. So let's go into meditation now. I invite you to close your eyes and focus on your breath, this beautiful breath of life that flows through us in this moment. And as you breathe into the quiet, just watch the space behind your eyelids as if it were a screen at the movie theater. And just think of it as you're waiting in the quiet for the movie to begin. And as you do, you may begin to see beautiful colors dancing around behind your eyelids. Or you may just be in the stillness, the darkness, the creative womb of life. But as you are there in this creative womb, remind yourself, this is not the end point. This is a hatchery, and you are moving into a new existence. This time in the darkness is transformative. All life comes from this womb of creation. Just sit there in the silence with hope in your heart. Now, as we come back into the space together, let us move into song and celebrate the hope that is there for all of us.
I will always be hoping, hoping. You will always be holding, holding my heart in your hand. I will understand. I will understand someday, one day. You will understand always, always from now until then. When it will be right, I don't know what it will be like. I don't know. We live in hope of deliverance from the darkness that surrounds us. Hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance. Hope of deliverance from the darkness that surrounds us. And I wouldn't mind knowing that you wouldn't mind going along with my plan. When it will be right, I don't know what it will be like. I don't know. We live in hope of deliverance from the darkness that surrounds us. Hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance from the darkness that surrounds us. Hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance from the darkness that surrounds us. Hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance from the darkness that surrounds us. Hope of deliverance, hope of deliverance, I will understand. Hope of deliverance, I will understand.
Thank you so much, Victor. That was beautiful. So, hope of deliverance from these dark times. We are certainly living in dark times, aren't we? I know that some days I just feel so weary, like when will it be over? When can we go back to gathering together, and even in smaller, tighter groups? When can we hug one another? I miss it so much, and I know that you do too. And that's a song. It's a song for our times, the hope of deliverance. But we have to hold hope. We have to know that, as Annie said in the musical, the sun will come out tomorrow. We have to hold that truth. And in order to do that, we need patience. Patience is so important because we want it to hurry up and be done. But if you think about what would that be like if you, say, had a baby that was growing inside of you, and I know there comes a point, more than one usually, where you want to hurry up. Let it be done. I can't endure this anymore. But you don't want it to be done. You want the baby to come when the baby is ready, when the baby is fully grown inside. You don't want to rush the process. And we are in that kind of a process. We are in a process where things are changing, and there are systems that are falling apart. And it's very uncomfortable. And we don't have a clear picture of what will it look like on the other side, but we want a clear picture. And we have to have faith, and we have to have hope. We have to hold on that something is coming of all this, that there is treasure in this. There was a story I remember from when I was a child called Snow White and Rose Red. I don't know if you read that particular fairy tale, but there were two young girls, and there was a bear who traveled in the area where they lived, and they befriended this bear. And when winter came, and they felt like the bear would be cold, and they invited the bear into their cabin. And so he would warm himself by the fire, and they loved this bear. They had become very good friends with the bear, and they would wrestle with the bear, and he was very gentle with them. And in one of those wrestling matches, they noticed that his fur had torn, and they saw something gold that was glimmering inside the fur. And that was the first clue that there was a treasure here beyond what they had seen. It turns out that this was a prince who had been enchanted and had taken on the form of a bear as enchantment, and it was the girl's love ultimately that set him free. We are alchemists. We are those who turn lead into gold, and we do it through love. So in this time of darkness, when things are not the way we think they should look, where things have been transformed and are uncomfortable and dangerous, we have the power with our hearts to look into the situation more deeply and to discover what is shining in there, the light of love, the light that created all that is, the light that is recreating our world into a more beautiful form. We have to hold on to that hope. There is a story about a man named Clive James, who's an Australian poet and writer and very, very well known and successful. But he had an experience in his life where he had just written a play, and the play totally bombed. It was a play on the London stages, so a big deal for this Australian, and it was so badly received. He felt ashamed, and it financially destroyed his family because of what had been invested in that. And when the play closed, he was so depressed. He just sat on the couch and stared at the walls. He couldn't find it in himself to do anything. He had no hope. He felt like his life was over. And his wife just kind of held the family together as best she could. And in the midst of this grieving process that he was doing, his two small daughters came to him, and they asked him if he would paint their shabby old secondhand bicycles so they wouldn't look so shabby. So he didn't really want to, but since he wasn't doing anything, he said, all right, he would. And he dragged himself up and he went out. And first he painted the bikes a vibrant red. And then he took the seat of the bicycle and he painted it with red and white stripes. And then he started putting stars on it, all kinds of white stars, and silver stars all over the bicycles. Just thousands of stars. And the girls were getting impatient, like, when can we have our bikes back? But he was busily painting away, and finally he had done. And off the girls went on their magical bikes full of constellations and wonder. And then he was like, well, all right, I did that. Now what? The next day, the girls come back, and they're bringing a friend with them who has a bike, and she wants to know, will he paint that one for her? All right, he says. So he paints that one. And that's the next one in a whole series of little kids in the neighborhood who bring their bikes, and he just keeps painting bikes with stars all over them until his whole neighborhood is filled with these magical bicycles. And somewhere in this process, he realizes he has come back to life again. He has found hope. He realizes that he has answered for himself the essential question that failure offers. Do you want to keep making stuff? And his answer was, yes. Yes, I do. And so he told himself somewhere toward the end of this process, I'm going to write about this someday. And of course he did. It's like that. Sometimes we get into a place where we feel like it's all over. We don't know where we can go from here. We are so depressed. And hope seems the furthest thing away. But we need to hold on to hope. We need to hold on to it and never let it go. One of the ways that we can hold on to hope is by noticing the good. There is plenty of bad going on in the world, and the media is more than happy to remind us on a daily basis of how much there is that is wrong with the world. But there is also a tremendous amount of good that's going on if we look for it. So there's a story about a young woman named Amisha who lives in Atlanta, and she was involved in the protests. And one of the things she noticed that at the beginning of the protests, the energy was really heavy and dark and depressing, and it didn't feel good. And so she had the idea to create these walls of, what did she call them? A wall of hope is what she called them. And it was something where people could write their feelings, they could write their dreams, whatever it was, they could write them on the walls. And as they did that, it just created a lighter energy. And then she had the idea of getting loudspeakers set up, and she started playing music like the Macarena and hip-hop music and Bob Marley reggae music. And so it was making this whole protest environment into more of a party feel to it. And then the next thing that she did was the National Guard had been called out, and there were all these guardsmen in their riot gear, and she went up to one of them, and to the group of them all in their riot gear, and she says, "Hey, I'm Amisha. How are you feeling? How are your families feeling about you being out here? What do you think about all the things that are going on in the world?" And when she asked them that, the first reaction was stunned silence, that somebody was communicating with them as human beings. One man said to her, "I understand why people are angry, and that makes doing this job a lot more difficult." A second man just had tears in his eyes. And a third one said, "Can I get a picture with you? I love you." And that was the start of all these selfies and all these hugs that were given. And it was just a whole different relationship. And then the mayor of Atlanta deputized her to help with the curfew. And so, ever creative, she comes up with this idea. She gets this big megaphone and she's blasting, "When I say curfew, you say, go home. Curfew? Go home." And so she got everybody doing that. And there were some teenagers slipped in there that were trying to make some harm out of it. And they just overpowered those kids with the megaphone and the call and the response, and they had to go home too. So it was really quite a wonderful experience for everybody. Now that's something that gives us hope. Despite everything that's going on, here is humanity showing up at its finest. Love being embodied in this world. And when we hear stories like that, doesn't it make you feel hopeful? So we have to seek out those stories. They are out there. They are definitely out there. And you know how it is. Whenever you look for something, like you just have to have a red car and suddenly everybody else has got a red car. You know, that's just the way the mind operates. The thing that we are focused on, we see more of. So it's so important that we focus on that which gives us hope. So we need to be patient. We need to trust the process. We need to look for that which gives us hope. And the final thing that will bring us more hope is to have talismans, something that reminds us of something that is good. So the talismans can be symbols from nature, like, okay, it's always darkest before the dawn, and we think of that sunrise that we've all sat and watched a sunrise at some point. We think of that, or we think about something that's hatching out of an egg, or we think about a newborn that comes out of the womb. We think about the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis. These are all images of hope. We think about the flowers poking out of the ground after a long winter. That is language that speaks to our subconscious, that instills hope in us. We can surround ourselves with those images physically, or we can just hold them in our mind's eye. And then we can also use talismans that are of our own personal experience. So think about a time in your life when there was something that seemed so hopeless. You didn't know how you would ever solve this problem, how the situation would ever change, how you would ever be able to do this thing that you didn't know how to do, how you would ever recover from the grief that you were feeling. And yet, you did. It did turn out in the end. You made something of whatever the situation is, because that's who we are. We are creators. We take mud and we sculpt it into something. So we all have those talisman stories in our lives, and hold on to those. Remind yourself of those as you go through the dark times, because those create the light of hope that will keep you going. We are creating a beautiful world. We are in the process of that now. We have to hold that hope and that knowing. Because if we do that, then like Amisha, we will be inspired to take the next step and the next step, and we will have allies coming to us, empowering us to do things and to go places that we didn't know we were capable of. It is so important. We need to take this alchemy, this alchemist job seriously, and transform the darkness and the lead of this experience into gold. That's why we are here at this time. Namaste.
In the beginning, there was the cold and the night, prophets and angels gave us the fire and the light. Man was triumphant, armed with the faith and the even the darkest ages couldn't kill. Too many kingdoms, too many flags on the field, so many battles, so many wounds to be healed. Time is relentless, only true love perseveres. It's been a long time, but now I'm with you after 2,000 years. This is our moment, here at the crossroads of time. We hope our children carry our dreams down the line. They are the vintage. What kind of life will they live? Is this a curse or a blessing that we give? Sometimes I wonder, why are we so blind to fate without compassion? There can be no end to hate, no end to sorrow, caused by the same endless fears. Why can't we learn from all we've been through after 2,000 years? There will be miracles after the last war is won. Science and poetry rule in the new world to come. Prophets and angels give us the power to see. What an amazing future there will be. And in the evening, after the fire and the light, one thing is certain: nothing can hold back the night. Time is relentless, and as the past disappears, we're on the verge of all things new. We are 2,000 years.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. What a beautiful song. What a powerful song for our times. We have to hold a vision, a hopeful vision of what we are creating. And here at Unity Community, we want to be part of that. We want to be part of creating the world that is a beautiful world for everyone. And so I invite you to gather your offerings, your energy, in the form of money. And know that your energy, when it's all combined, all of us together, we are creating something so beautiful, something where people will feel that they belong, something where people will feel peace deep inside, something where people will wake up to a higher possibility for life. That's what we're all about, and that's what you can choose to put your energy toward. So thank you. Thank you for the gifts that you offer. And thank you to all of the team here, our wonderful Soulshine team that week after week is here creating beautiful music for us. For Mita, who is opening the door for our deaf community to be part of this. For Nico and Kevin, who are doing such an amazing job with technology, sometimes against great odds, but they are doing it. And for Claire, who is endlessly creative with her celebrations, and for God for showing up on the banana phone this week. What a blessed community we are. So let's take all of these gifts here and let us bless them.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. So blessed.
Let's bless this virtual basket of love. From the love of pure spirit within us, we bless these gifts. We send them forth to heal, bless, and prosper. They return to us and return to us multiplied abundantly, and so it is. And so after the service, please click on the link in the newsletter and join Reverend Tam in the Zoom room and all your friends. And let's end with the prayer of protection.
The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, because I am. Light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Oh, wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Because I am. I am. because